Hi again. Today I'm going to share with you 10 different ways that I fill up my notebooks. So some of you might have some beautiful books that you don't know how to use, or you might not want to use, or they're just sitting there collecting dust. And as you can see, I have so many of them. So I'm going to delve quickly into these and show you a few ways that I like to use my notebooks. If it might help give you some ideas or inspiration on how you can use your beautiful notebooks. So first of all, here is my book for creative work. So I've categorized, it's like an agenda book, but I've personalized it, categorized it to the topics that I need. Planning for my workshop, some product ideas, some craft page ideas, more ideas, and basically it's loads of ideas. And I'm not using this part, but I can always think of something to use it for. So I love these beautiful books, and sometimes you can use them as they are, and sometimes feel free to personalize them and change them around a bit, however they fit your needs and your work. So this is my main one for my work. Though it's not my agenda or my to-dos, this is just diving deeper into different projects and ideas, and that way I know exactly if I have an idea, I just write it in here. That way I can always come back to this idea. For each aspect of my work, I might have another notebook. So this one is specifically related to my YouTube channel. So I will delve more deeply into things that I want to share and specific aspects of that part. I'm not showing you here all of my planning and tracking for my work, but just how I use some of these notebooks. Sometimes I feel the need to write on a paper, write with my hand, write with a pen. It just the more organic feel to it rather than typing things up on the computer. I think there's a time and place for each thing, and you do, of course, what suits you and what you prefer. Next on my list of notebooks is a brain dump. So if you don't know what a brain dump is, it's usually just writing whatever you feel at the moment. Sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's positive, and it just needs to come out. So this is my book for that. I'm almost finished, so I'm going to get myself a new one. It's a beautiful notebook, but I figure that if I don't use it for something, even if it's not the most inspiring thing, a brain dump, it's not that I'll go back to it and anything. Sometimes it's very personal things and things I'd like to forget about, but just writing it down, there's so many benefits to just feeling free and relieved afterwards. So I definitely advise this for anybody who hasn't tried this yet, because it's definitely a life changer. All right, next one. I have here a beautiful notebook that I decided to write notes to my kids. So each one of my kids has one of these, and I write them. Sometimes my husband adds to it, and sometimes my kids reply to my little notes. I haven't gotten very far. This one's for my daughter, and sometimes we might write down little souvenirs, things that we've done together or enjoyed together. And other times it's just love notes, words of encouragement. You can do it. And I find this to be a wonderful way to use up a beautiful notebook and something that you can give to them when they leave home or need that extra encouragement. I'm not so faithful to do it. I don't do it every day, and I don't do it every week either, but it keeps it special because it's on occasions. I probably want to do more of this because I think it will make a difference in their lives and something that they can go back to, refer to, and probably wonderful memories to hold on to. I've also done one for my husband, which I write little love notes, appreciations of things that he's done for me or for our home, for our family. And also once in a while he'll include his little replies to me. So I really enjoy doing this, and It's another way to fill up a little agenda book. So this is a small little agenda that somebody gifted me, and I love the idea to gift it to somebody else. And it's also a gift to myself because I see their face light up as they read it, and I get little notes back in return. Moving on to another idea. This is another, just a plain little notebook. And I love making lists, so I decided this will be my 10 creative ideas list. Sometimes I just sit and reflect and something comes to mind, and I might just jot down 1, 2, or 3 ideas, and it often ends up being 10, that's why I've added the 10 afterwards. 10 benefits of journaling, things I'd love to be if I had 5 other lives, 10 ways to journal my day, 10 personal pick-me-ups, 10 ways to winterize my self-care, 10 ways to fill up my notebooks. Here we go. I'm making a video of that today for you. 10 ways to make autumn cozy, 10 reasons or sure ways to smile, 10 things I'd like to try if it weren't so scary, 10 benefits of letting go of the constant doing, 10 things to stop doing, 10 self-care dailies. Anyway, plenty of them, and I'd love to add to this. It's not a big notebook, so it's doable. I can do it. 10 5-minute self-care habits to help me feel good all day. Anyway, that was just another idea of how you could use up maybe one of your cute little notebooks. I have here another beautiful one. It's an agenda, and I decided to use it for journal prompts. So I'm always coming up with questions to ask myself, whether it's related to my work or my emotional life, my mental health, my well-being, my self-care. So every time I think of a question, I'll write it down here. And then later on, when I want to journal something, I take my other notebook, another beautiful book, and this is where I reply to some of these questions. So I'll dive deeper into them here. And they can go hand in hand. Of course, sometimes I just let it flow and write anything I want here, any questions I have. In here, I write mainly questions that I don't have time to answer right away. That way I know I can always fall back to something when I'm blank or want something to journal about. Anyway, so I find this helpful to just have a notebook for that as well. Another one is kind words. Again, this is an agenda type of book, and I love to fill these with kind words to myself, affirmations, just encouragements and pick-me-ups, and I go back to this so often throughout the day. Sometimes first thing in the morning or in between work time, I just open my book and pick a few. What I did for this one is I listed 7 different aspects of self-care: professional and creative, emotional, physical, mental, practical, social, and spiritual. And I listed 1 day of the week for each one. That way I know that when I open my book and it's on a Monday, I know that it's related to my work and creativity. And if I want to add a new one, I can also keep track of this. Of course, that's not something you have to do, but it's just a way that I like to keep it organized. So that's my little love notes, affirmations to myself. Almost done here. This is my self-care record tracker. Again, a little agenda book, and I keep track of everything that I do for my self-care. I wrote a little note to myself. Here's where you can track your self-care routines or rituals or treats and surprises for your personal well-being and care. Everything and anything is allowed here, and you're free to find 1 or more daily. There shouldn't pass a day that you don't do something, even just one thing to take care of you. Dig deep and find those hidden jewels and treasures that fill up your well of positive energy reserves. It's all in how you view things, and let them touch you in some way. Don't feel ashamed or guilty. Don't be shy. This self-care space is reserved for you alone. Putting it on paper, recording it in some way will help encourage and motivate you to find something different and unique each day, even if only a very simple thing. Fill up on self-care and you'll have more to give and share with the world. So my little reminder when I feel it's not worth it or I can't find anything to keep track of or something that I've done in my day. So I love this one, this way to fill up a notebook. Another one, which I've already covered in another video, but it's with doodles. A very simple notebook, but adding doodles, just drawing whenever I feel like it or after I read something to inspire me. And I guess as an artist, you need that time to just draw, and not for anything, for anybody else, but just for you. So I find that doodles do that for me. They fill me up. They light me up inside, and I have something to go back to as well in my notebooks. So I have a few of these very simple notebooks. Another one is crafting. As you know, I love to craft. Cut out magazines, pretty pictures, and here's where I keep all my favorite quotes. So sometimes I have little pockets. And so when I read something or I hear something from somebody else and I want to remember it, I just add it to one of these craft pages. So I have lots and lots of these. I love to go back to them. Sometimes I write a certain topic and they all kind of fall along the same topic. Other times it's more just anything and everything, and there's always extra spaces to fill it up some more or to add more pockets. So that's another way to fill up a simple little notebook. Last but not least, I have these really tiny mini books that I've actually made myself. This is a little one about how I feel. So I use this a lot when I reflect on my emotions. And anyway, simple little books like this one I use for jotting down different things about emotions, positive feelings and negative feelings. That way I can learn to express myself in a better way. Also become more aware of my feelings and emotions. So I find that these tiny little notebooks are so cute. For one, they're easy to make. This one is a little coupon, again for self-care and well-being, different aspects of my self-care, nourishing my body, my mind, and my spirit. And I tick them off or I rip them out when I finish it. If you don't want to use up a bought notebook, a beautiful one, then you can make your own. Anyway, so those were different ways that I use up my notebooks. I hope that there was something in there that you would like and that would be helpful for you, might give you some ideas, inspirations of how can fill up all those beautiful notebooks of yours. And here's an idea of how you could personalize it if you wanted. I just covered it with some wallpaper and then added my own printed out title. So that's a way if you would like to make your books even more beautiful and pretty. Of course, I don't use each one every day, but I definitely use them all within a week. All right then, this was a long video, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.